Hello everyone, and welcome back to a brand new video. And today, as you can see by the title, we are back with some PSGL highlights, this time around USA for round 10. And I was quite excited for this one. The championship battle's getting quite heated now, as you can see. Because of various things that have happened across the season, there's still quite a few drivers in with a chance, including myself, because I've done most of the races, where Jarno, Barry, they've all missed quite a few races. But we've had some poor races ourselves as well. But yeah, looking forward to this one. Pace was good. We're now in the McLaren with Barry. So yeah, hopefully we can take the fight to Mercedes and see where we can finish in this championship. So yes, for USA then, pace was looking decent. We did quite a bit of practice, including that practice race on Tuesday in RL Global. So yeah, it should be a good one. And coming on to our first and what hopefully is our only run in Q1, of course, wanted to save that set of tyres, so we have 2 runs for Q2 and Q3. The lap was very cautious, especially in this last sector, as you can see coming through this left-hander. Not as aggressive as we want to be. We almost invalidate still, and into the final corner, don't take as much curb as we should. But we get a nice exit, and we do a 0.8 banker, which isn't amazing. As you can see, Barry's done a 0.6, Jarno's done a 0.7, and we're on a 0.8, but we have Alvaro and Danny Moreno up behind us, so yeah, we should be safe, and we are safe. But someone who isn't safe right now is the championship leader, Philip Schneider, currently down in 19th place, but he's about to finish his final run, and I don't think he was that great. And coming up to the line, he's gone into P14, and there's still a few drivers yet to finish their laps, including Tom97, Dario, and Dylan Warren. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one as Dario crosses the line. Goes up to P13, pushing Schneider on the brink. And now Dylan Warren invalidates his lap, so Schneider still has a chance. And now it's all down to Tom97 through the final corner.
Is he going to knock someone out again? Oh,
and he does it. So Schneider, the championship leader, out in Q1. And that was, as you can see, I'm smiling there because it opens up the championship a bit more. He can go for the alternate strategy, but ideally for the alternate strategy, you want to be P11, P12, definitely not down in P16. So yeah, good for the championship, helps us, and yeah, we advance on to Q2. As you can see there, Tom, Schneider, Joe, Julian, and Dylan Warren out in Q1. So moving on into Q2 then, finishing our lap. Another not a great lap, but it is going to be an improvement on Q1 as we cross the line to do a low 0.7. As you can see, I'm not happy with that, as I say, awful. Barry does a high 0.5, and yeah, that lap may be enough, but we have another run. But this is where it starts to get interesting, because as I skip through the session now, you can see Jarno on the medium compound tyre, and I can also confirm Fabrizio Donoso was also on the medium compound tyre. So this pretty much means they're going for the alt strat, unless they get within inside the top 10. Both of them options really good strategies, because if Jarno gets into Q3 or Fab on their mediums, they still have the softs to use in Q3 to get a high grid position, and then they'll start on the mediums, stick within the train, and go on to fresh softs at the end and absolutely carve their way through the pack. But if they don't make it into Q3, then they're starting, you know, P11, 12, which is prime position for the alternate strategy, which is still a really good strategy. So, yeah, good strategy by them. We just decided to go on the softs. We'll be the ones at the front, me, Barry, and Caraton on the normal strategy. But, yeah, Danny Moreno in P9, he's on the softs, and I think what he's planning to do is just wait and try and go for P11, because I don't think he's planning on doing a proper lap and being one of the front runners on the normal strategy. So yeah, interesting strategies from Jarno, Fabrizio, and Danny, and I believe Nicholas Longway is also going for that. And as you can see, as Jarno goes up to the line, he goes into P10 provisionally, so that is not great for us, because if he starts, well, if he gets into Q3 on them tyres, then it's game over for everyone else. Pretty much. But Moreno comes into the pits because he's already P11. He can't really improve there. He's in a perfect spot right now. As Fabrizio Donoso gets up into P10 on the medium. So Fab on a very good strategy right now. As long as he can get a good position in Q3, he's in a good spot to take this win. But as I say there, the two Mercedes 11th and 12th on the alternate strategy. So Fabrizio, Jarno, and Danny, ones we definitely have to look out for on Alto strat. Nicholas Longway as well. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting battle in terms of strategy. They're going to be hunting us down towards the end, and we'll do our best to defend. So yeah, moving on into Q3 then. This is going to be my fastest lap of the session. You'll see why. So starting the lap then, making sure your tyres are as cool as possible. Around 87, 88 degrees, I think is fine. Getting that wide entry to get the best traction. And then into turn 1, looking for the black box on the right, braking then down into second gear, clip that apex, make sure not to hit the curb on the inside, avoid that exit curb. And that was a decent turn 1, and now into the S section, flat out of course. Yeah, not much to say about this. On this right-hander, stick to the right to open up this left-hander, fly through there, and then into this uphill right, take that curb. And yeah, that was quite tricky, at least for me anyway, but I think we got that pretty decently. And now into the left-hander, break another 100-meter board down into third gear. We missed that apex. Wouldn't cost us too much time. But yeah, activating DRS as early as possible, of course. And now preparing for the left-hander at the end of Sector 2, using all the curb just before the 50-meter board. Cut this as much as possible. We don't cut here enough. Use this exit curb. And yeah, not a great lap so far. We still have one sector to go. There's this traffic in the way, as we say, move. So we lock up a bit there, sliding the car through that left-hander, getting all the rotation. And yeah, not a brilliant lap, but it'll do. Into this left-hander, making sure not to invalidate like we did on Tuesday. We take that pretty nicely, and into the final corner, down to third gear. Short shift to fourth. Tyres are pretty hot at this point, so be careful. And up to the line is a 28.505. And yeah, a decent lap, but as you can see, we have 4 minutes to go. And yeah, that's going to be very tight whether we can make it or not. As I say, they don't know if I'm going to make it back or not. And well,
99-degree tires.
We do actually manage to make it, but yeah, we had to push like we were out on actual lap, and that's led to us being on 90-degree tires or whatever I said, which, as you'll see right now,
Oh, they're already dead. They're already dead. Never mind.
was not ideal. So yeah, that's a quick lesson. Make sure your tires are cool, especially on if you're on an aggressive setup. Otherwise, you're just going to overheat, like I did there. But yeah, Barry Burman currently on pole, but Alvaro Carleton yet to do a lap. And as you can see,
Out to point 4. Carleton up to the line. It's pole.
so Carleton on pole then, but crucially,
Fab.
the man
P7. Right, P7 for Fab.
the man on what could have been the best strategy in P7. So yeah, that's going to make it a little bit harder for him. But he's still in the prime position right now, with Moreno and Jarno being in P11, 12. So yeah, if Fab was in the top 3, top 4, then, well, even top 7 is still an extremely good position. But yeah, it probably would have been over if he was in the top 3. But yeah, we take P3 in the session. Our teammate ahead of us, and Carleton on pole. And yeah, this should be an interesting one. So, getting straight into it then, for round 10 of the PSGL season. And the lights go out. And as you can see, we get a very good start. The best start of the top 3. Unfortunately, we have nowhere to go. We're not going to risk into turn 1, crash into our teammate. Carleton goes very wide. That allows Barry to go up the inside, but they're going to try and go side by side. But Barry backs out, going into the S section. We are chilling in P3. And now we play the patient game as per usual. Me and Barry actually went for a different strategy as well. So more interesting different strategies. The regular strategy is to go for soft medium, pitting around lap 9 to 11. That was pretty much confirmed as the fastest by everyone. That's what everyone was expecting us soft runners to do. But me and Barry, we're going to do something different. We were going to pit earlier and go into the hard tyres, which are not too slow, and they last pretty long as well. So we were planning on going lap 6 for me, lap 7 for Barry, and get the undercut on Alvaro. He will be faster, obviously, when he goes on to his fresh mediums, but at the end we should be able to catch him back up and try and go for a move there. So yeah, we have a lot of different strategies. I can also confirm Jarno started on the hard tyre, so he's going to go hard soft. Moreno's on the medium, so he's going to go medium soft. as well as Fabrizio. So yeah, very interesting race, or at least it will get extremely interesting towards the end. But yeah, for now it's just about saving as much as possible. I can say that I did not do much practice at all on the hard tyres. I kind of just went off Barry's word because Barry did quite a lot of race practice, I think. And he was confident that the hards were quicker. And of course, I'm going to trust my teammate on that. So yeah, we'll see how that turns out later on. But yeah, moving on to lap 6 then. This is where we decide we're going to come into the pits. And yeah, taking the pit entry nice and cleanly. You can't cut or go wide at that entry. Getting it all slowed down. And at this point, the chat on Twitch was going a little bit mad because they had no idea I was doing this strategy. But yeah, we didn't want to say anything about it because we don't want anyone to go into other driver streams, because most of the drivers stream these races, or at least some of them do. And yeah, we didn't want to leak the strategy to give away our advantage, or what we thought was the advantage. But yeah, coming out of the pits then on our cold, hard tyres. Of course, they're not going to perform very well at first, as you can see. Already sliding, oversteering there. But yeah, we're going to use quite a lot of ERS to make sure we get that decent undercut to Carlton when he pits in what should be 3 to 4 laps. His tyres will be fine. They'll go to the end just fine, as long as he pits around 10, 11. But at the end, I think the hards will still be quicker, and that's where we have to take advantage of that opportunity. But yeah, moving on then to lap 11. This is where Carlton pits onto them fresh medium tyres, and as you can see, he is quite a way behind us. That's to be expected. The softs really drop off after like lap 7 or something. So yeah, Alvaro 2.1 behind us, 2.2. But of course, on them softer compounder tyres, he's going to catch us quite quickly. But hopefully he takes a lot out of the tyres to catch back up to us and overtake. And then that's where we can go back for the move towards the end of the race. But remember, we still have Fabrizio, Danny, Jarno, Nicholas, all on that alternate strategy. They may not seem like they're in the race right now, but towards the end, trust me, they'll be very close. So yeah, still very interesting how this race is going to turn out. Our race pace definitely wasn't as good as Barry's. We were constantly 7 to 8 to maybe even 9 tenths behind at some point. We definitely should be a little bit closer, just to be comfortable, and we don't have to use any ERS to stay in, but we made quite a few mistakes. But yeah, skipping on to lap 13. As you can see, Carlton on them fresh mediums has caught up. He's going to go for the move now. We're using our ERS to defend. He goes up the inside. We let him go. We go for the switchback. We get the traction down, and we go back round the outside. He tries to send it up the inside, but we're holding that outside line, and he's not going to be able to get through on this occasion. We instantly defend down the inside, because that's a place where drivers usually like to send it, and we managed to keep that position. And if you was wondering why I was defending, I felt like it's important we try and keep him behind as long as possible, because at some point, as I said, them tyres are going to fall off the pace, and the hards are going to be a bit quicker, and we want him to be, you know, as close to us as possible when the mediums do fall off a bit. So the longer that we can keep him behind, the better. But as you can see, he's got another run. We're going to use all our ERS. We defend a little bit, but we decide not to fully commit, and he sends it down the inside. And yeah, unfortunately, we couldn't go for the switchback there. We hit his rear wheel, and he's through. We could have been a little bit more aggressive on the defense, but I feel like he would have just sent it anyway. And we don't want to risk a crash. He's inevitably going to get through. It was pretty important to try and keep him behind as long as possible, but it's not the end of the world. So now moving on to lap 22. Nothing really happened. We were just staying within the DRS of Barry. Carlton's a bit further up the road, but we did start to catch as the stint went on, which is what we expected, and we still have 6 laps to try and catch up further and go for a move. But as you can see in the top left, Daniel Moreno on them fresh soft tyres is catching very rapidly. He has a penalty, which will help us massively, of course, as long as we don't get one. But that strategy is so good that he may even pull ahead 3 seconds and win the race, as long as his pace is good, which of course it is going to be. So he's definitely one to watch out for, and I believe Longway and Jarno are also very close behind. So yeah, Danny looking like a definite threat. We don't have much ERS because unfortunately we couldn't really save much behind Barry. The pace was very good from the front too, and it was quite hard to catch up. So we had to use some ERS to make sure we didn't drop out of DRS. because of course it's very important to stay within DRS to get dragged along. But yeah, Danny catching very quickly, and very soon he'll be onto the back of us. And as we go on to lap 25, as you can see, he's already caught right up to me. He goes for the move down the inside. We have 0 ERS to defend with, and yeah, there's nothing we can do about that one. So now he's through, and he'll very quickly overtake Barry and Alvaro. But the question is, will he pull that 3 seconds to win the race? Next up on the alternate strategy runners is Jarno. 2.7 seconds behind us, but he is on the freshest softs out of the lot of us. So he's going to catch just as fast as Danny did. And he has no penalty. So Jarno still in contention for this. Only 2 laps to go. So he really needs to get a move on, but he is catching, you know, tenths per corner. So yeah, he's definitely going to catch up as Danny goes for the move on Barry. And now he only has Carton to hunt down and try and pull that 3 second gap to win the race. So yeah, quite interesting. Nicholas as well, it's worth talking about him. Ahead of Jarno, but with that 3 seconds. And I believe older soft tyres because he went on mediums at the start, so pitted earlier. Jarno's going to get past him, and yeah, we should be able to stay ahead of him. Daniel Reno, I'm not too sure because them fresh softs are still going to be fine at the end of the race, whereas our hards are going to drop off, and yeah, we may end up well over 3 seconds behind. We'll see, but yeah, moving on to lap 27 then. Jarno on the fresher softs of everyone. Already going for the move. We have 0 ERS to defend with. We cover the inside. Jarno doesn't go for it. He's going to go for the switchback. Get that traction on the soft tyres. We try and brake as late as possible. We don't want to just smash into him. The grip at this point, as you can see, is pretty terrible on these hards, and there's nothing we can do. We try and send it up the inside, but he covers that off. But I was really just trying to hold him up as much as possible for Barry, because as you can see now, there's about 9 tenths to Barry, which could have helped because of the battling we did.
Hopefully that slowed him down enough he won't beat Barry.
As I said there, we were just trying to help out Barry, really, to hold him off as long as possible. And yeah, that could have been enough. That battling was, even though it literally lasted like 1 corner, it might be enough for Barry to hold off Jarno. And as you can see, Jarno is extremely close to Barry going to the final corner, but he can't do it, which means Barry will take P2 in this race. And unfortunately, we can't beat Danny Moreno. He was too far up the road. Them soft tyres were just too fast. But P5, considering that stacked grid, and not getting the great strategy there. I think the mediums were better. Still a decent performance. Not looking good for our championship. All of our rivals finishing above us. Apart from Preschneider, who had a bad race. No points for him. So, yeah, the championship's got even closer now. We're definitely going to move down a bit after Carton's win, Barry's P2. So yeah, a very entertaining race in my opinion. Maybe not on track battle-wise, but in terms of strategies, it was very interesting with them alternate strategy runners coming through at the end. We tried our best to defend, but unfortunately, a combination of high wings, low ERS to defend with, and just the tyre difference, we weren't able to battle them for as long as we wanted. And yeah, P5 it is. Alvaro wins the race, Barry P2, Jarno P3, Danny P4, and ourselves in P5. So, what does this mean for the championship then? Well, it's still ridiculously close. As you can see, Barry leading the championship by 1 point to Carton in P2 after that win. Jarno jumps up to P3 after his podium, and he is level on points with Preschneider after he gets 0 points. We are on 65 points. Pretty disappointing. You know, everything's happened across the season. You know, Barry missing 4 races, Jarno missing races to do Formula E. But anyway, moving on. Thank you all for watching today. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed. And I'll see you in the next race where the sweaty championship battle continues on between 5 sweats. Or 6 if you include Danny Moreno, who probably will end up closing up in the championship. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.